Hi, Ryan Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No Sneaking Record Company.com. We're talking to Barry DeVorzon. We're talking songwriting, and we've also been talking film scoring. And I want to get to a really cool thing that Barry's come up with that is going to be able to help you. Before we go there, Barry mentioned that he'd like to talk about a couple more films because there's some other lessons that we can get out of them. So Barry, how about a couple more of those films that you worked on?
Well, you have to know what you're best at, and I did not have classical training, and so what I brought to films, in my mind, even though Bless the Beast and Children was very orchestral, I brought a contemporary edge because I'd spent my time in the music business, and most of television at that time was kind of jazz band stuff. And motion pictures were mostly, classically oriented composers. So I just kind of brought in a contemporary edge. And the first time I utilized that with great success, believe it or not, was my first television show called SWAT. And this was a toughie. It was about a SWAT team, which is not the greatest theme to go with. But I just decided I would write the most exciting main title I could, and I incorporated a lot of the stuff I'd learned in the record business in the more rocky rock and roll stuff I did.
Yeah.
And to my amazement, the theme from SWAT went to #1.
There you go. I remember that.
And these days it's hard to get an instrumental.
Yeah.
To go to #1. And I'm quite lucky. I guess I've had two of them. Nadia's Theme, which is on one end of the spectrum, and Theme from SWAT, which is on the other side. But that's the power of film, you see. Film gets people's attention, and if the song is there, if the theme is there, you have a shot. And that's really why film is important to the songwriter. The other film that I really enjoyed doing was a film called The Warriors. And what I did with The Warriors, I believe it was the first rock and roll score where not just the song, but the entire score was done with rock and roll and synthesizers. And it was a really interesting experience for me, and it worked out great. And probably the nicest thing is I co-wrote the end title with Joe Walsh.
In the City,
Eagles.
right?
We wrote a song called In the City.
Yeah.
And the Eagles wound up recording it.
Yeah.
So that was a nice bonus.
Absolutely.
From a movie that has become kind of a cult movie, The Warriors.
And I guess what's kind of cool about that too is, I mean, if you're writing for a movie, it's like a double opportunity to get into people's heads. Not only are they listening to the how would you say the song and how the song stands itself, but they're remembering the storyline. They're remembering what they watched in the movie, and maybe they liked it, and maybe they want to remember it again. And so that's awesome. I mean, that's like a double hook to get people.
Oh yeah, it just adds a whole new dimension.
Yeah.
Like even the opening where they're on the subway heading toward that big meeting of the gangs, and all these really incredible cuts, and you got to play those, so you had the excitement of the visual and the music, pumping it along.
Yeah, it's really going to stick in people's heads. Awesome. A couple great stories. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up and move on. I am Ryan Michael Galloway with We Don't Need No Sneaking Record Company.com, and I'm speaking to Barry DeVorzon. We've been talking songwriting, and we've been talking about film scoring, and good stuff coming up. So come catch the next post. Thanks.